Hi, I'm Mike. I'm the owner of the In-Groove in Phoenix, Arizona. We're a retail brick and mortar record store, and today I'm going to go over with you the best sounding vinyl versions of Dave Brubeck's Time Out. This is one of the biggest selling jazz albums of all time, one of the top two with Miles Davis's Kinda Blue. Dave got the idea to do this album when he was overseas. One of the very first concept albums ever made, the idea was to do every single song in a different time signature. This is the original 1959 issue on the Columbia 6i label in mono. Now this particular album is the best sounding version of the mono issues, but I really prefer this album in stereo. Stereo has a lot better soundstage. It's a lot more 3D. You can kind of pinpoint all the different members of the band by just closing your eyes. Really, really well recorded album. Seek out a stereo copy. This is the 1959 6i stereo pressing. Came out on the 6i Columbia label. Same as its mono counterpart. This is the best sounding of all the original versions of this album. Out of all the different countries, Japanese, Netherlands, UK, if you're looking for an original pressing, this is the one to own. Very, very nice sounding record. This was a really well recorded album. This is the 1979 Japanese pressing without the obi. Kind of has the 70s CBS logo to it. You know, Japanese vinyl, very clear sounding, but if you watch my videos much, you'll know that I don't like Japanese pressings. This is no exception. Very wimpy sounding compared to the original 6i record. Similar to the 70s pressing US copy, not a very good sounding record. Stick with an original 6i. This is the Classic Records reissue. Came out a few years back. This is 4 single-sided pieces of Clarity vinyl, all cut by Bernie Grundman, one of the best mastering engineers alive. Clarity vinyl was supposed to be, just like its name sounds, real clear. Unfortunately, it's not. This is actually a pretty noisy pressing. Sound-wise, it's phenomenal. It's up there with the best sounding versions of this album you can find. The only version of this album that sounds better, I'll get to at the end. But Bernie Grundman did a killer job on this record. It's unbelievably sounding. I had a friend come over a few years back and I put this record on for him. He was in the radio business for a long time. He owns a record label here in Phoenix. He told me that this particular record sounded so good it was unnatural. He said that there was no way that this record sounded this good when they were recording it, but it did. Columbia did a fantastic job recording this record, and it really shows with this issue. This is a killer sounding record. Unfortunately, these are getting close to $300 now. This is the new Analog Productions 33 RPM single disc record. It uses the exact same metal stamper as they used to make the Classic Records reissue. This is the best sounding single disc version of this album available. It blows away all the originals, blows away all the foreign presses. This is the one to own if you're only looking to have one disc. This is the brand new Analog Productions 45 RPM version of Time Out. This is hands down the best sounding version of this album. It's cut from the exact same metal stamper as the Classic Reissues 4-sided record that I showed you earlier. The only difference, QRP, Quality Records Pressing, uses significantly better vinyl. The Clarity vinyl doesn't match up to the QRP record. This is the record to own. This is now my #1 demo disc when I show people my stereo system. This particular record outshines them all. Dead quiet vinyl, impeccable mastering by Bernie Grundman, significantly less than the Classics reissue. No reason to buy the Classic reissue. It's the same exact metalwork as the Classic reissue, but significantly better vinyl. Buy this particular pressing. All right, so to recap, get the Analog Productions 45 RPM, brand new. They're 50 bucks. You're not gonna get a better sounding version of this record. I know it's at 45 RPM. It's a pain in the ass to be flipping records every 5 minutes, but if you're looking for the best sounding version of this album, you gotta go with the 45 RPM. If you're looking for original copies, you got to go with the 6i, you got to go stereo. The mono copy just doesn't have the same sound stage, the same holographic sound as the stereo record does. A lot of vintage jazz albums, people are looking for mono, but there is a particular few albums out there that the stereo just sounds better, and this is one of them. All right, don't forget to subscribe. If you have any requests for future videos, don't forget to leave it in the comments. And until next time.